Carlo's recollection of when he was young and he came to the United States, he remembered it was Pan Am Airline, which was true. It was on his papers. And he remembered, he said a priest accompanied him, but we can't find any documents that state that. When he first came, the only person he could understand was his father. He could not understand his mother, and she spoke Italian. Sam was Napolitan. I don't know what Kay was. I never met her. She passed before I came into the picture. When he first came, they sent him to a public school, and he cried. He said he remembered standing on outside the school and crying and saying to his father, please, please don't leave me here. I'm scared. I don't understand anything anyone's saying. Papa, please don't leave me. And the father would say, you have to go to school. You have to. And he would beg, but his father would leave him. So it got so bad every day, the same thing, that finally they took him out of public school and they decided to put him in Catholic school because they knew the nuns spoke other languages. And there was one nun that took a liking to Carlo and took him under her wing and taught him English. And once he learned English, he lost his Italian. He always wanted to speak Italian, but the mother and father would use the Italian so that the children wouldn't know what they were saying. That's what they would do. So they didn't use the language between them and the children. He had a brother who was adopted too, but not from Italy. He was Polish. Okay, so there was no reason to speak the Italian, and the dialect was different. Then I'm trying to think where to go. Sometime after Sam died, we were moving a lot then. Carla was moving from Connecticut to New York. And then we were moving from New York to another house. And through my travels, I found papers in our strongbox. Carla didn't throw anything away, kept everything. And the paper in there was from the Archdiocese of New York, where the mother and father paid $10,000 for Carlo to adopt him. At one point, I had to write, when I first started searching for information, Carlo had a stroke in 2001, and in order for him to get funds to live, I had to prove that he was a citizen. I couldn't find his naturalization papers. So, and he couldn't speak to me. He was paralyzed on the right side. So I'm going through everything, and I can't find anything. So finally, he started to talk a little bit, and I said, your papers, your Italian papers, where are they? I don't know. So I had to talk to a governor and ask him to help me file with the FOIA. It's the Freedom of Information. You have the right to know anything the government has written about you. And the archives are in Massachusetts. And so I wrote to them because I needed these papers in order to get him disability. And the governor wrote for me too. And then finally a CD came. And on that CD, it was difficult because it was all in Italian. Everything that went on in Italy before he came over. And we kept trying to break it down. I had a barber that worked for me. I had a beauty and barber shop. And he was from, believe it or not, Messina, here. And he would read the Italian for me. And he read in there that Carlo was adopted by a different family when he first came to the States. And after 2 days, he was removed from the family because they said he didn't get along with their children. Now, this is not fact, but I believe that they used, the Archdiocese used a couple as their model couple to get these children from Italy to United States. And once they came here, they would go to them the first night, and after that, whichever couples were waiting for children, they would then be placed. This is what I believe, because they wouldn't want to keep going through formality. It would be too much turmoil and work to keep going through formality. So it was easier to use one couple to bring these children over and then place them to whatever parents were waiting for children. So Carlo got very upset with that, very upset that night. And I said, no, calm down. I said, I don't believe this is true. They don't move children around like that. They don't put children in a family, then take them out and put them in another family. I said, I think this was all just the process of how they brought you over here. And he did say the name. He knew the name of the couple, and he said he thought they were his dentist at one time. He wanted to go to Connecticut to talk to these people. I said, Carlo, you can't do that. What are you going to do? Go knock on the door and say, I need to talk to you because you might know about my adoption? I said, you can't do that. So we kind of let that go. We let that go because we didn't feel we could really pursue that. Carlo would always say to me, what do I do if I meet my brothers and sisters? If I have brothers and sisters, what do I do? I said, Carlo, if we find your family, there's going to be something you're going to see, whether it's your ear, your nose, your eyes. There's going to be something, when you look, you're going to see you in them. So when he finally met his brothers, I was on the telephone with Angelo. I was on the telephone with Inca, and I said to Inca, if I were to tell you something that you probably would be familiar to you about your brother, I would tell you his eyes are a beautiful blue, and he's got a big nose. And she goes, ah, ha, 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 ha. She said, oh my God, we have blue eyes and we have big noses too. So then when Carlo finally saw his father, oh my God, it was like looking in the mirror. And I said to him, this is your father. Oh my God, I can't believe it. I said, can you see it? Can you see yourself? He said, yes, Debra, I can.